All right. My name is Dr. Sergey Sorin. I'm here with Dr. Tom.
Yeah, Dr. Tom Moorcroft, osteopathic physician. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Actually, you're beyond the osteopathic physician. I think you're in the category of, manifestors. You
There we
create things. So let's talk about briefly, not so briefly, about creation. And our perspective, I'm just going to give the guideline and summary of what we do. Holistic medicine. Spirit, soul, mind, body. Spirit, all there is, we're connected to everything. We have the capacity for pretty much everything if we allow ourselves. Soul, our individual expression. I mean, if you want to think of it that way. I don't tell people what to believe, even though I am a minister, by the way, technically as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, the mind, control centers, thoughts, feelings, emotions. Most people don't realize that this is where the control takes place. And who is in control of that baby? I mean, that's the big question. The material, the lifestyle, the physical things, illness, disease, or possessions, wealth, the relationships, everything else. Everything in life that matters, everything literally, is a question of what you materialize, what you create, what you manifest in life. And there's a simple word that I wanted to bring out, responsibility. Contrary to most people's beliefs, we have responsibility. We have ability and we have response capacity. If we do, it's on us. If we don't, that's on us. If we think we can, we will. If we think we can't, we are correct. And so whether we're happy, healthy, or otherwise, well, it's all up to us. Please.
It really is, Sergey. I mean, I think that, one of the terms or sayings that a lot of people have heard is neurons that wire together, fire together. I should actually say the other way around. It's pretty funny when you slip up that way. Neurons that fire together, wire together. And it really comes from this thought of what we think about, we bring about. And so what all of this means, if we unpack it, is the thing that you think about the most is what your subconscious is going to work towards creating. And so from a biochemical and a physiologic perspective, if I keep firing a single nerve pathway over and over and over, that pathway will get stronger and any other pathway will weaken. So the neurons that fire together, they're going to get tighter and tighter. So the beauty of this is when you're looking at creation is in the beginning, it may be harder or it may appear to be harder. But the more you flex the muscle of I can create a positive health outcome for myself as opposed to what most people flex is the negative one, then we have this ability it gets simpler and simpler and easier. And a quick example is when you look at people who make money, and people in the media who make money, they make money and money and money, and then they make a ton of money, and then they make a shit ton of money more on top of it. And it seems like it's easier and easier and easier. But in their mind, it is easy to make money. So what I want for all of our listeners to do is realize you can do the same thing with money, but more importantly, you can do the same thing with health. When you focus consistently on a positive health outcome, those neurons are going to continue to fire together, and then they're going to wire. And the more and more that wiring gets hardwired, the easier it is for health. The easier and easier and easier it becomes. I remember in my own health journey, I was quite ill, and in the beginning of doing a yoga practice, which helped me get into meditation and ultimately got me almost 80% better before I even saw a doctor who could help me, it's amazing how much the body can heal. But what's really cool about the whole thing was, in the beginning, it was really hard. It was hard to do the practice. It felt physically, mentally, to allow myself to do the practice every day and consistently do it was hard. However, the more and more I just showed up for myself, I didn't need as much willpower. It actually became almost automatic that the health was coming in my direction.
Brilliant. One of the major concepts I am following in the tradition and teaching and actually mentorship, tutorship. The best word that comes to mind is, in the old days, apprentice.
Yes.
Dr. Norm Shealy, the founding father of holistic medicine. He's 90 years old right now. He brought me in about 7 years ago. I've already had my perspective. I'm already coming from a colon cancer. I'm going to be dead in 2 years. So several other things where I could have been dead, should have been dead, so to speak, physically, otherwise. So here's the thing, Tom, this is what I'm discovering. It is literally a decision. It is literally a choice. And you have to make a choice, a responsibility. What kind of life do you want? What kind of... And look at the negatives, look at the shadow, look at the lessons. It's meant to teach you a lesson. Life is manifesting, creating. It's not very difficult. You go down the road. It's like a puzzle. I mean, you go down the dead end. Okay, you don't want to go there again. Now, if you keep going there, it's on you.
Well, and I think about it, it's like, you talk to people and they're like, well, I want to have this health outcome. But I'm like, well, have you changed the way you think about that health outcome? Because like right now they're saying I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And then they're not over here. So, and they're like, well, I need more of X, Y, and Z. Or maybe I need to add like, P as well. But basically I'm still going to do the same thing. And so if you want to get to here, way over here, like this new highest level of health, you need to do a couple of things. One is you have to let go of the old thinking that's allowed you to get to where you're currently at. Because clearly if the old thinking could get you there, you'd be there already. And then the other part of it is you need to surround yourself with people who know how to get you there.
Like Sergey Tom.
Well, yeah, like me. Look at it. So like when you look in the Lyme world, how many people will tell you you can get better? Well, I will. And how many people do you know who have actually gotten better? Well, I have, right? It was 13 and a half years of suffering, and I've been symptom-free as we speak for over 11 years. So when my patients come to me, I can say, I know there's people out there who don't get better, but I know you can get better because I did it. And the way I did it was my back was against the wall. I remember this very clearly, Sergey. It was in the little apartment we had in medical school. And I just saw my life like going, and I was like in my, late 20s, and I was just like, oh my God, I just got married to this beautiful woman. We want to have a family. I want to go outside and play with the kids. I want to go run in the mountains with the dog, ski, mountain bike, play frisbee, kayak, live.
Yes.
And I was just like, I've got shit to do.
Yes.
And I just focused on that. I didn't say, I'm going to get better or screw whatever this is because I got shit to do. I said, I'm going to do that. And that's all I'm going to say about it. That I ended the sentence. Because I created a future for myself that was incompatible with being sick.
Perfect. Same thing. Last year, I crashed a Porsche. We talked about Porsches. I crashed a Porsche about 100 miles an hour. Okay, I can talk about it now. I mean, it's about a year ago. 15 feet up in the air, came down really hard. Compression fracture, burst fracture, L3. Basically, barely got out of the vehicle. Figure out I'm nearly paralyzed. Basically.
Oh my God.
4 weeks later, surgery. I'm back in the emergency room, 24-hour shift. I'm working. I mean,
Wow.
it's. But the thing is, 2 weeks into it, I figured out I can walk. That means I can do the stairs. If I can do that, I can dance. I can dance. Well, so on and so forth.
Yes. Oh, I love it, brother. But it's like it's what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
It's really I think about meditation, and I love teaching meditation, and I teach it differently than a lot of people because I teach it specifically for people with chronic illness. But one of the things I love is defining things. And when meditation is about focus and about this and that, I love the definition of meditation is to become familiar with.
Yes.
To become familiar with the state in which you want to exist. So most of us, most people who are experiencing chronic illness are very familiar with the negative state that they don't want to be
The shadow.
Yeah, and they're not familiar with the state that they want to be in. So what we really want to do is become more familiar with the state you want to be in than the state you don't, because neurons that fire together wire together, right? So you're way the hell over here, and it's like, hey, I should be putting the negative away from Sergey. So the negative's way over here.
Thank you. Actually, that's NLP as well, isn't it? Neuro-linguistic programming in a way.
Yeah, in a previous chat, we talked about anchoring. That's very interesting.
Let me jump in.
Yes.
Shadow, negative, fear, disease, pain, name it, loss. I've gone through cycles. I've gone through about five or six major cycles where it's like sort of rags to riches. I mean, I'm not talking about just physical. I'm talking about everything.
Mental, emotional.
Just complete build up, complete breakdown. So now, basically, who am I? I'm a spiritual being. I'm a soul. And so here's the thing: every negative. This is another big thing. We go through things for a reason. We have challenges. We have mental, emotional, physical challenges. We have disease. We're supposed to learn a lesson. It's not supposed to be a mystery. It's not supposed to be a punishment for the rest of our lives, for God's sake. It's supposed to be something, okay, what am I doing? What is the pattern? What is the pattern that's not working? what is the pattern that I need to get in place to get to the
Yes.
place that I want to be. And this goes back to your visualization. Damn.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
It's so important because if we're focused so much on all the little things that we need to do and that are going wrong in our illness, it's now over here on this side, and then we're going over here with Sergey and the positive healing, is that we want to just give ourselves that opportunity to taste a little bit of that each and every day and every step, you know. And one of the things that I like to tell people to do, it's a simple, easy exercise that you can do no matter how good or bad you feel. And it's at the end of the day, write down your 3 wins from the day. It could be your biggest 3 wins, it could be just 3 random wins. And if you're having a really crappy day, you can still find a lesson that can be a win in there. And you write down 3 wins. It should only take you about a minute or minute and a half. And then that will get you in this, eventually, into a state of gratitude for what's going on in your life. And then you're also going to write down 3 wins that you're going to have for tomorrow. And those 3 wins that you're going to have tomorrow, probably when you write them down, at least when you start the practice, your conscious mind goes, oh, no, that's not possible. That's not going to happen. The beauty is, because we're going to do this at bedtime, we're going to write down the 3 wins from today, pre-plan 3 wins for tomorrow. Then we're going to read them once. We're going to go to bed. When we go to sleep, we'll dissociate from our conscious mind, and then our superconscious mind will be able to come in. Many people call it the subconscious, but when we're allowing that space around there, it truly is superconscious. And it's going to be open to the infinite possibilities of the universe, including all of the infinite healing possibilities. Then you're going to wake up in the next morning with all this brand new information in your head. And all you have to know is what you want and why you want it. It does not matter how you're going to get it, because that's not part of this. That's not your responsibility. And I feel like in chronic illness, this is where people get stuck. They think that it's their responsibility to figure out how. All you need to know is what you want and why you want it. So what you want and the emotion behind why you want it. Yes. And then the last piece is you're going to start to notice within a day or two, maybe for some of us 3 or 4 days, that life just gets easier. And all these spontaneous coincidences occur. And all of a sudden, your wins are like, I've got 27 wins. I don't even know. You're writing them all down. It's amazing.
And it builds up. It really does. It's basically literally building up the muscle of the positive. And what I love is, and I think this is a fantastic way to kind of get to the segment here, because the point is, I can't think of a better conclusion than what you said. That's an action item. You know, I mean,
yes.
There it is. There's something to do. And I dare. No, I don't dare, but I invite everyone out there who's listening to Tom and myself. I hope you don't mind the first names here. The doctor title has never occurred to me as to be anything other than just a necessity, so to speak.
Yes, exactly.
The healers are true. The healing is truly from within, and the healing
and
is.
There's no name there.
There's no name there, and your healing is inside of you, your heart, your mind, your being, and you got a capacity. Tom's got a lot of things that you got to say. We got a lot of things to share, but ultimately, you're it. You got it.
That's right. You got it all.
Yeah.